Morning, Pete Leaders. I'm still on Koh Phangan, it's a little island in the Gulf of Thailand. I came here for a festival to teach and perform, and that's finished. And so it's time to tune into the island and wind down. And last time I was here, I came with very little money, but I love travelling that way. Strange things happen, and I met this gentleman, and he invited me to stay in his little resort. It's probably not the right word, little bungalows, and it was less than $50 a week, so Kiwi. So I ended up staying here, and I was intrigued by him, an intriguing gentleman. He'd been living on this island for 30 years, and he started to tell me a bit of his story. I asked him because I knew he had a story, and 10 years ago I started to write a fictitious story, trying to help a friend of mine break out of his old thought patterns. I never finished the story, but before I came last time, I thought it was just time that I did. When I spoke to Joe, the gentleman that owns this place, his life story was pretty much exactly the story that I started to write 10 years ago, so a little bit of a synchronicity. So I rewrote the book and never quite finished it, but I'll start again today. And 2 days ago I met a young hitchhiker, and I haven't seen hitchhikers on this island, so I picked her up and took her to where she wanted to go, and we chatted. And she was a Russian psychologist, which intrigued me. She's a very busy girl, but she does a blog as she travels, and her advice, as is mine, is if you're struggling in the world, that's a good thing. The world's clearly insane, destroying the earth and destroying our children with brainwashing and fear and religions. But her advice was to go travel, break out of your religion, your culture, your family, the belief system that you've been programmed. If you're blissfully happy all the time, you don't need to travel. There's no need to leave. But if things are wrong in the world or in your mind, there's nothing wrong in the world. It's all in here. Go travel. And preferably alone. And you'll start to see a different perspective and how different people live, and in time you might start to see and find out who you are. You'll see wrong in the world, and if it's in you, delete it. If you see good in people, perhaps with me it was how I used to be. I saw good in people. I used to do that, so I incorporate that into my belief system and into my life, and I'll keep travelling. Where I live in New Zealand, a lot of young German travellers trying to find themselves. Sadly, most of them travel in groups, and they see me and my lifestyle, and often they're intrigued by it. So we talk, and my advice to them is to split up and travel alone, and things start to change, and amazing things happen. I've travelled without money, and bizarre things happen, and it's actually my preferred way to travel now. So I'm going to start easing into the lifestyle here, and the food's incredible here and very cheap. Actually, Joe that owns this little resort, he spoke a lot of what he sees in the world and the clear pattern that materialism brings. When he first came here, peaceful people, quiet, simple lives, open hearts, open homes. It's changed. There's resorts being built all around. There's motorbikes everywhere. It's just, and the Thai people are changing. I see it clearly. I see it as a pattern. I saw it in Fiji 10 years ago. They didn't need anything. They certainly didn't need money. They had everything they needed: water, food, fish, fruit, family. But they see the white people and they think they're happy with all their shiny shit, and so they start to work and go into resorts and whatever's available, and bit by bit their peace gets taken from them. Stress comes in their life. They buy the material things and realise there's no happiness in that, but there's an underlying current of resentment here, and it'll show up from time to time. It's not pleasant, but totally justifiable. This beautiful island, It's still, I mean, on a world stand, it's still paradise, but what it must have been before Westers turned up, it's just incredible here. So I'm going to go and explore. I've been invited into a school to help children, and I'll go in there today. And there's a community art space that I've been invited to be a part of. So I've got an art studio on the island now. So I'm going to explore those today, and we'll talk soon, I hope.